And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Signposts. Great to have you all here with me once again for another wonderful Thursday morning. Again, the Signposts happen every Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Then tomorrow we have New Earth TV Live, where I bring in an Adronis transmission. Plus we look into Q&A from the audience. And then, of course, we do some distance healing. Now, we don't do distance healing today on Signposts. It mainly is just of a certain topic and suggested topics from the audience, and of course Q&A. That's really what the Signposts is all about. So let me just make sure I got everything going good here with my camera. Okay, everything's good. So hello everybody, welcome. So I got some exciting announcements to share before we get started with today's broadcast. First of all, we have the promo code NOV22, all capital letters, November 22nd, NOV, capital NOV 22 for 22% off all products on your order. And believe me, you are going to want to use it for a product that I'm going to show you here in just a minute. Okay, so to use that product, just go to etherics.co, grab the products that you want. Once you get to the shopping cart page, you can go ahead and use that promo code, typing it all up in capital letters and getting 22% off all of the products that are contained in your order. Now again, all products on Etherics are in-house shipping. So again, you get them quite quickly, right? So I send them out through either Canada Post or UPS. So they do come relatively quickly. Usually just depends where you are in the world. I would say relatively quickly if you're in North America, Canada, or the United States. Overseas can take maybe about a week, week and a half or so, give or take, right? Again, check out our etherics.co website, check out our YouTube, youtube.com/etherics at Etherics Store. And of course, we're on Facebook and Instagram as well too. And of course, private sessions are available. That also includes the full body source healing sessions. This is also including the brand new nutrition scan that is available right now. You can just go to newearthteachings.com. So again, nutrition and genetic scan sessions. This is scanning vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and genetic conditions in your body. It is a shorter session, but again, you can either add it as an add-on for the full body source healing session, or you can get it just as a standalone session. And that is available right now on newearthteachings.com. And as I said, that there is a announcement here that I'm going to share. It's about a brand new product. This is it. Well, Brad, that's a flashlight. Indeed, it is a flashlight, but it is a healing flashlight, right? And this is exactly the newest product here on etherics.co, and it is called the Etherics Healing Flashlight. I actually just made a video of this that's going to air on this channel shortly after today's broadcast. But basically, to summarize, this basically contains the concentrated source center vibration within it. So being able to utilize this will bring about healing within a matter of minutes. If you have a soreness, a soreness, an ache, a stiffness, pain in the body, if you have a chronic condition in that sense, all you're really doing is just shining this flashlight upon the skin, and you're noticing that within a couple of minutes, that pain starts to fade away. I gave a story in the video that I created today, but to summarize, just a couple of days ago, I was doing a sporting event, and I actually injured this particular finger, my middle finger on my right hand. It was slightly sprained. And when I got this in the mail just the other day, I just turned it on, and I instantly started going to work with it. I started using this at this setting for about 2 minutes or so, just going along the finger, going all around it, and I could feel that that stiffness, that straining feeling of the finger was actually just fading away after about 2 minutes. Now, no problem. Feels like it was not even strained. And this only took just under 2 minutes. So what is the science behind this? Well, this is a vibrational healing light technology. And even though it looks just like an ordinary flashlight, it has the source center vibration concentrated in its light stream, right? So you basically have two different settings here. You have a low setting and you have a high setting, low, high, okay, or off. There's also other settings as well too. Once you get it, you get a technical instruction book with it to give you the idea about the different ones. There's a strobe setting, there's a dim setting as well too. But this is by far the most powerful and the most potent healing technology Etherics has right now. It's its first electronic technology, right? So this is incredibly amazing. And I can just speak on it for myself. When I was healing myself last night, my girlfriend also had a bit of a cold coming. And I just said, honey, just do this. Keep it in your mouth for about 2 minutes. Her sinus congestion was gone in 2 minutes, right? What she was also doing is she was just putting the light just close to about the upper lip here and just briefly shining it up around the left nostril and then briefly shining it up around the right nostril, making sure that you're not putting this directly in your eyes, but just shining it up the nostrils as well too. You are getting concentrated, potent source center vibration coming up the nose, going into the nasopharynx, going into the sinus glands, healing your sinus glands in a couple of minutes. You're putting this in your mouth, you're healing toothaches, healing it within a couple minutes. You have any problems with your tongue, healing it within a couple of minutes. You have a problem with your throat, again, you're just bringing it. It's hard for me to talk when I'm like that, of course, but again, just for a couple of minutes, right? I usually say you get about 2 to 5 minutes. And you're going to notice that if you have a sore throat, just like what you just saw me do, it's exactly what you do to heal a sore throat. You have a migraine, okay? You have a headache. You just put this at the top of your head, just like this. And just do a short movement around, a rotation just like this, okay? You can even go around the back of the head as well too, if it's close to around the area of the back of the skull and the neck. Just shine it there for about 2 to 5 minutes. Headache gone. Migraine gone, okay? Because this is the source center vibration. There is not another technology on the planet like this, okay? It's not just a flashlight you're holding. You are holding a light healing technology, something that is phenomenal. This is probably something that they have on board ships. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, here, Brad. Okay, welcome to the Palladian ship. Phew, here we go. We're just telling us, whoa, geez. Yeah, like in 2 minutes. Whew. My hand's feeling all better, okay? Very powerful technology. It is available right now. This is available right now. I only have 100 units. Okay, so I'm getting a couple 100 units sent to me. It's going to take a couple more weeks, but I only have 100 units of these. Grab them while you can. They're going to go super fast. Okay, this is unlike any particular type of technology you have seen, right? The torus bed is definitely the most dense and the most complete technology we have, but this is definitely the most powerful and the most potent technology we have, and that is the Etherics Healing Flashlight. Don't miss it. Grab it now, especially with your discount, okay? You can get it with your discount right now. I only got 100 units. Once they're gone, they're gone. But again, more are coming, okay? So grab it very quickly. Grab it while you can. It's amazing. There's no way I'm giving up mine. I love this thing. This thing's really helping me with healing. It's also helping me with my shoulder as well, too, as I clear up any muscle ache as well. Anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you guys for the brand new healing technology. We're actually working with light technology now. This is awesome. And we're working with the source vibration in imbuement with the healing light. It's going to be wonderful. Okay. And of course, a reminder that we are still having availability for the Bosnian Pyramids and Ancient Healing Tour. So again, explore the ancient Sun Pyramid, larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza, healing chambers within the pyramid and its construction, revealed by Adronos, ancient healing practices and environmental healing taught by me, witnessing sacred sites and harnessing sacred power to take back home with you. And this is from September 15th to 22nd of 2024, 7 days, 8 nights, and you can register now at wowtours.de. You can check it out. You are going to be joining me personally for this trip. We're going to be going into these amazing pyramids personally through these healing chambers. We're going to learn a lot about sacred geometry. We're going to learn a lot about ancient sites. We're going to learn a lot about ley lines, and we're going to learn a lot about healing the environment, healing yourself, healing others, and healing the environment. It's going to be awesome. So check that out, wowtours.de. Finally, everything on our channel is backed up onto Odyssey, odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. All right, so how about we get into it? I was so excited about the healing flashlight, losing track of time. Oh, speaking of that, here's another thing I'll do with my drink here. I'll just do this. I'll just put my healing flashlight into the drink, and you basically keep it there for about 30 seconds, right? After 30 seconds, your drink is not only charged, it's supercharged. It's supercharged with highly potent source center vibration, right? So you're just keeping it there for about 30 seconds. Afterwards, turning it off and enjoying your drink. Oh, that feels powerful. Love it. Okay, guys. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started today with the signposts. So last week I was talking a lot about 2024, right? I was doing a zodiac spread, zodiac tarot reading on 2024, and we got some very interesting results. If you have not seen that episode, I recommend you do. Just go onto my YouTube channel, check out last Thursday's live webcast of the signposts, and you'll see that whole episode. We had some great questions too by the audience, and thank you again, guys, for sharing your great questions. I really appreciate it. And we're going to look a little bit more into 2024 because what was also interesting was on Friday last week, Jonas was talking about an inverted solstice, an inverted winter solstice happening in late 2024. So that if that's something that you missed as well too, make sure you catch that, right? You definitely want to catch last week's two webcasts. We had some really amazing information being shared. We had some really amazing questions from the wonderful audience that I have here, of course. And we're going to be looking a little bit more into some things here today as well too. So again, a lot of what people are suggesting right now is like, Brad, what is happening with this Israeli war? What's happening with this Israeli situation? Is it going to go on for quite some time? What does it look like as we get into 2024? We know that 2023 is almost up here. Can we take a look at the whole situation pertaining to Israel in regards to 2024? So that will be one of the first things that we'll take a look at. I did not get my second camera hooked up here, so I'm just going to be working with my solo camera here. But yes, we will look into the whole situation pertaining to Israel. 2024 is a lot of experts on YouTube talking about Israel, astrologically, numerologically, even doing readings on it as well too. But I just like to give my own perspective in regards to Israel to find out how things are going to be going with that whole situation as we go through the year of 2024, which is the action era. So let's take a look and see how that goes. What can we expect with the whole Israel situation as we move into 2024? So let's take a look. Someone is just asking about the flashlight. What you want to do is when you go to etherics.co, maybe I can put a screen share on here real quick so you guys can see what I'm going to be doing here, just so you guys can see it, because I know, again, like you guys are probably going to grab it while I'm doing the broadcast here. So just give me a moment here as I set up my window capture. Properties. Okay. All right, so you guys should see Etherics right here, right? So all you're doing is just scrolling down the page, right? So this is the Taurus Beds pre-order. By the way, there's information on the Taurus Beds. The Taurus Beds will be here November 20th, okay? Taurus Beds are going to be at my location by November 20th, so orders are now going to start getting filled between November 20th and 21st. I'm pretty sure they're going to be here in the late afternoon of November 20th, so I'll be getting everything ready starting the November 21st to fulfill orders. So again, if you guys want to grab your Taurus Bed kits now, we have an arrival date. The arrival date is November 20th, okay? So the pre-order is going to last up until that date. Up until November 20th, you'll have the pre-order special here, okay? So we scroll down here, why choose Etherics, and we see newest arrivals. Do you see right here? Okay, Etherics Healing Flashlights. You see the flashlight here on the purple background. Click on that, and there you go. Now make sure you click on the description, okay? Description will tell you all about the flashlight, right? Once you do that, just go ahead and add to cart or buy with Shop Pay, and you can grab it. Okay, so hopefully I got that for everybody. Just make sure you follow the instructions here, and you'll find it there. You'll want to look for that little purple image there. Okay, and that is the Etherics Healing Flashlight. I'm probably going to make a better graphic. I was kind of just creating something on the fly, but there will be a much better graphic coming out here very shortly too, probably after today's broadcast. Okay, anyways, thought I would mention that real quickly. Anyways, back to the reading. Okay, so from what I'm sensing here, it looks like whatever's happening in Israel looks like it's ready to get resolved. Okay, this is really just Russia and the Ukraine all over again. That's really what this whole situation is. But they're going to drag it out for quite some time. Okay, so we're seeing kind of a wheel of fortune coming together. This is representing the querent. This is representing Israel itself. It's going out of doom and gloom, and it's going to start moving into something much more prosperous. Before that time, though, it's going to go through smear campaigns. It's going to go through hate campaigns. It's going to go through debauchery. It's going to go through slander, right? It's going to be making up a lot of stuff, okay? So Israel basically right now is basically going through a purge. That purge is going to represent the corrupt, right? The corrupt are basically going to get purged out of Israel. And that's primarily what's happening. But they're trying to raise a huge stink. They're trying to create a smear campaign. They're trying to make things look really, really horrible. They're trying to feel like what's happening in Israel is going to be World War III. Well, guess what, guys? They said the exact same thing with Russia and the Ukraine. Oh, with what's happening with the Ukraine, this could start World War III. This could be a World War III situation with what's happening between Russia and the Ukraine. Oh, well, here's Israel right now, and exactly with what's happening with Israel right now, oh, this could trigger World War III. Do you see how redundant the three-ring circus is? It's just, again, smear campaign. It is a fear propagation. It is fear for your mind, right? It is the idea of vibrational warfare. That's really what's happening. Yes, there certainly are some scuffles taking place in Israel, that's for sure. But it's not leading to anything that would represent the brink of an official WW3. Okay, so that is not what's happening. The past here is the King of Wands. So there have been some forces that have been rolling in that are basically trying to take out the cartels, that are trying to spin this into something that's trying to emerge a WW3. But that's not what's happening here, right? It feels like, again, there's kind of a give and a take situation unfolding here. So again, those that are trying to spin all these things are going to have even more difficulty trying to get this whole escapade off the ground. They're going to be met with resistance. There's a balancing act, again, that's coming together with this. In the near future, as we start moving into 2024, it looks like this is going to be smoothing itself out. We may see the idea of new leadership coming together. We may start to see the old regime being completely ejected from Israel, okay? So I'm seeing nothing but actually very positive things. The only thing that's not too positive is what they're doing right now. What they're doing on media, what they're doing on the mainstream, what they're trying to make this look like when it's not, right? Basically what's happening in that sense is very much like what happened with Ukraine. They are starting to get all of the filth. They're trying to get all the corruption. They're trying to get everything pertaining to the cartels that are warmongers out of Israel. That's what's happening right now. And they will defend themselves by trying to smear everything. Oh, look how many people are dying, or bombs are going to be dropped, or these many people are going to be killed, or this is exactly what you're seeing with all this violence, blah, 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 right? And they're basically trying to egg it on to try and last for a long time. But it's like I said last week. Okay, right here, here's Russia and Ukraine. Okay, well, it's not doing well. Oh, wait, here's something with Israel. Move the camera, right? And here's something with Israel. And then that starts to stir for a little bit of time. Oh, wait, there's something else here. Okay, switch the camera. And that's exactly what they're doing. So really what I'm seeing here is an opportunity of balancing. And it's also the opportunity of moving on from such horrific, corrupt cartels, right? These criminal cartels, these mafias, these regimes that are taking place, they're all being weeded out. Like I said, it's no more different than what I was talking about the garden beds, right? Ripping out all of those weeds, throwing them onto the surface, and all these people, oh my God, that's putrid, that's foul, that's nasty, that's disgusting. Well, again, this is what you have to see. Israel has been a country that has been compromised for thousands of years. They have been under the guise of criminal cartels for thousands of years, right? Their entire construct has basically been based on criminal cartels, right? So Israel has dealt with that for thousands and thousands of years. And now they're finally getting to the point where they can now move into the light. But before they go into the light, they have to peel this skin off. And this skin is a very nasty, a very hideous, a very ugly skin. But it needs to be peeled off the country. Once that's peeled off the country, this is giving a new start for something much more glorious, right? Because we're seeing this. This is representing a new beginning, right? We're seeing the rainbow arc here. We're seeing the idea of transformation. We're seeing the idea of renewal. We're seeing the idea of a fresh start, a beautiful transconfiguration that's taking place with Israel. Okay, so in 2024, if I'm getting an estimate here, probably close to maybe around the midpoint of 2024, I think they're going to have to run this campaign out for a few months. Basically like they did with Russia and Ukraine, right? It's Russia-Ukraine part 2. That's really what this is. And so it is going to take its course here for several months. But I think as we get into perhaps around the midpoint, again, that's not in granite, okay? It's not written in granite, but perhaps within the next several months, we'll be seeing just, again, this story starting to fade away because it's failing, so that they can go and get another schmoz, right? Another hit, another propaganda agenda taking place. So the camera will turn again, right? And this is how they do it. They're losing their beacons of power, right? They're losing the Ukraine. They pretty much already lost the Ukraine. They're going to lose Israel. What's going to be next, right? It's going to be another one of their nests, okay? And another one of their nests is going to be lost, and another one of their nests is going to be lost. And they're doing everything they possibly can to smear this garbage, right? To make it feel like the whole world is at war, that this is going to lead to WW3, and you're all doomed. They said the exact same thing verbatim with Russia and Ukraine. Did that happen? No. So what are we seeing here again? We're seeing a repeat. We're just seeing a different country. We're seeing a little bit of a different scenario, but it really just comes down to the same thing. The entire cartel is being cleaned out of Israel, and this is what they do, right? They basically stage a war, and they try to make a mess of things. They try to confuse people to give an impression that they're not being beaten, right? This is exactly why they make a mess of such a things. They distort all kinds of information. They cloud everybody's perceptions about what's going on, and they do that because they want to leave a smokescreen. They don't want to admit that they're being defeated. They don't want to admit that they're being taken down. They don't want to be admitted that they're actually being dejected from these places that were once their nests. That's the last thing they want to admit, and they will create a smokescreen. They will create a paper trail that leads to nowhere. That's what they use the MSM for. They will spin it in 1,000 different ways so that you will not know that these particular criminal cartels are being defeated when in fact they are, right? And that's why they do it. It's psychological imprinting. It's psychological programming. You can see through this stuff. It really is just not that surprising. It's just a three-ring circus, my friends, right? It's all it really represents, all right? So I wanted to look into that pertaining to Israel. We're also going to look into events that are going to lead up into this inverted winter solstice that Adronis was talking about last Friday, where he was referring to an inverted winter solstice of 2024, where it is going to lead into a brand new benchmark. It is going to lead into a brand new transformation, where we're getting out of the era or the span of change, and we're coming into the span of renewal that's taking place at the end of 2024, moving into 2025. So basically his forecasts in the past has been 2016 to 2024. This represents a span of change, right? Upheaval, exposure, right? Being able to see exactly what's been kept under our feet for a very long time. Well, gee, he certainly called that because that's certainly been happening since 2016. And it's escalated into a year of culmination pertaining to the end of the span of change, which is to 2024. We're already seeing that. You see exactly how Adronis has pinpointed this out since 2016, moving up into 2024. It really is a time of exposure. It's a time of revealing. It's a time of expose. And then we move into 2025. From 2025 to 2036, we move into a span of renewal. What that means is that you're going to see continuous falling away of old leadership. You're going to see continuous falling in the way of cabals, right? All of that is going to start disappearing. As that starts to disappear, at the same time, new innovations are coming up, new transformations in the ways of technology, in the ways of education, in the way of leadership. And all of these different things are going to have new forms. The earth is basically going to start taking a new form that will represent the benchmark time of this in 2025. Now, again, there is a bit of a transitional time from 2025 to 2036. So basically, you could say 2025, 2026, 2027 would be the transitional years leading into the new span of renewal, right? So this is also going to relate to the idea of interstellar travel. This is going to lead into the idea of new innovations, new ideas about going beyond the Earth, right? So there may also be the idea of new construction taking place, new technology that may represent the idea of more of the public being able to travel into space. There may be also more information relating to extraterrestrial disclosure, more than what we've been seeing, because we pretty much have confirmed through some of these specials that have already been put up on mainstream media about the existence of extraterrestrials. So that's pretty much a given now. Everybody on this planet now who's basically tuned in even to the mainstream media pretty much knows that extraterrestrials exist. It's no longer a secret anymore. So now it goes into a new level. It goes into the next phase, and that could again be developing spacefaring technology, where we may start to have much more deeper encounters pertaining to extraterrestrial presence. So there's a lot of stuff. I mean, you could really look at a lot of different things from all different facets of ourselves that are now going to start to propagate as we move into 2024, leading up into the end of 2024. So let's take another look at what we can expect changes to happen just on a worldwide level, representing between now and the end of 2024, leading to the inverted winter solstice. And what he means by an inversion is that you're seeing something completely turn inside out. It's not a bad thing. Whether you put it as a good thing or a bad thing, that's a matter of perspective. But it's the idea of something phenomenal is turning inside out. And there's a new inversion, and there's a stronger magnetic, and there's veils being dropped, and it's going to lead into a greater revealing as we move into the span of renewal. So let's take a look at that, about how the world will look as we move from 2023 into 2024, based on what Adronis has shared pertaining to the inverted winter solstice. Right. After that, we'll go ahead and we'll take some questions and any recommended topics from the audience. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, well, this is indeed a year of action that 2024 represents. I'm seeing a lot of action cards here. All right, well, here's the first one, representing action, the people standing up for themselves, right? Country to country, nation to nation, I feel like the pot is boiling over. People have had enough, right? And now there's just going to be such monumental change that, again, I doubt the MSM is going to pick it up, right? If you're basically looking at all these people coming out of the streets and they said enough is enough, and they're standing together and they're working together, it's the last thing they want on CNN. It's the last thing you want on MSNBC and so forth. So the idea of standing up for what's right, okay? That's the nature of the current of ourselves as the planet, as the world, moving into 2024. Okay, new ideas, new thoughts, right? New percolations, new ideas starting to form as well too, and it's being given into the hands of youth. So this is what I feel is like our younger generation is going to start becoming really innovative. And it's like I've talked about before, I feel that the younger generation are going to be the ones that are going to really lead the charge here, right? You're looking at the students, you're looking at the younger generation, right? You're looking at the post-millennials coming up, and they're the ones that are taking the sword, and they're the ones that are giving new ideas. They're going to have new creative ideas to basically transition out of all of these things that we've been exposed to pertaining to mafias and cartels, right? So I think this will be a time where the youth will actually start standing up and bringing much more innovation, new ideas to come together to leading us into this new transitional effect of, again, the span of renewal. This is representing the past, or we could say the end of 2023, right? Victory. So whatever is happening right now, guys, this is going to lead into something very, very prosperous. This is going to lead into something very, very amazing. This is not going to lead you further down a rabbit hole. This is not leading us into a bottomless pit. Whatever is happening right now, when you look at the situation with Israel, when you're looking at what they've been doing with Maui, when you've been looking at all these other things, all these other false flags, they're opening up cans of worms. And again, even though it's shocking to see that at first, once all those cans of worms are spilt on the table, everything in regards to what's being hidden is giving us an enormous wake-up call. And that is exactly what's happening. The people are waking up. They're not falling for the lies anymore. And through that not falling for the lies, this is going to represent significant change and overhaul of everything that we have been exposed to for such a long, long, long time. New leadership is going to be coming together, okay? So we may see new people coming into power that are really just going to reshape the landscape. It's not just going to be same old business as usual. When these new leaders come together from country to country, it is going to completely reshape the landscape. It is not going to be susceptible to corruption anymore. So there's going to be a lot more breaking apart of the old systems to find out exactly where a lot of these flaws are, what has been going on, right? Looking at rigged elections and looking at all these particular forms of technologies that have been responsible for, again, rigging these elections. And I feel that there's going to be a lot of taking down of that. I think there's going to be, again, a lot more introspection of that. And I feel like with the world leadership that's going to be coming as we move into the renewal age, we're looking at new innovations, new ideas, basically being able to take the corruption out of the nature of people electing leaders, right? So I feel like that is coming as well too. And I feel like this is just going to carry forward. This is going to manifest into something much larger. This is all about an action card, right? So we're going to see a lot more action. We're going to see the youth standing up. Like I said, I have talked about the ATM scandal, right? The ATM agenda, where they're basically trying to say that maybe their money situation is in jeopardy right now, and people are scrambling to ATMs, and that there's basically going to be a lot of empty ATMs. And basically, when I looked at that at last week's reading, it basically had about an 80 to 90% probability. Okay, it's not, again, etched in granite. These are, again, high probabilities. They're not definite, but it certainly is a high probability. I've also talked about the nature of government shutdown. Okay, now that's more of a 60 to 70%, but that also feels quite likely happening in 2024. It feels like just everything's going to get overhauled, right? You could also call the year of 2024 the year of overhaul. Okay, so not only is it an action era, the beginning of an action era, and as it moves into the culmination of the span of change, you could also look at 2024 as the year of overhaul. All right, so this is going to be quite interesting. A lot of surprises are going to be awaiting us when we come to 2024. Things that we didn't think would ever happen relating to, oh my God, these guys are so corrupt. Are they ever going to be taken off their throne? Well, actually, yeah, because you're going to see it. What? Really? Yep. So again, this is representing the idea that we're moving forward in the right way. Surprises are coming, and again, we got that youthful card, we got that page with the emotions, right? There's going to be an emotional upliftment. There's going to be something, right? People are basically feel like they've been clinging to hope, and maybe some aspect pertaining to that hope is now actually going to start coming together. And that's just representing the idea of tearing apart the old systems, building something new, and moving into an overhaul stage so that it can move into something much more prosperous. We're looking towards a new world. We're looking into something in a much more positive way. And that's what's coming for 2024. Okay, looks very, very exciting. It is indeed an action, because I'm getting so many action cards here, right? So action time, indeed. Like I said, we're getting out of the exposure time, and we're coming into the action time because of that exposure. And that is the culminating year of the year of change, or pertaining to the nature of exposure and transformation. All right, so let's go ahead now and move on into questions that you guys have. Okay. Someone just said that the discount code is not valid, so just give me a second here, guys. So it should be valid until November 13th. I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So make sure you guys are spelling it properly, okay? Okay, November 22. Yep, it is active from November 3rd to November 13th, so I'm not too sure what someone is doing, because it completely is valid with everything. So let me just double check here. I think it's because someone was trying to purchase the flashlight there. So okay, so guys, I just want you to try that again. All right, so just refresh your page, go to, again, Etherex, and type in that discount code again. Okay, so I just made sure that the flashlight is eligible for the discount. It is. Okay, so go ahead and use NOV22. Okay, when you're grabbing a hold of the healing flashlight, at the shopping cart page, make sure you're typing in all capital letters NOV22. If you're on that page right now, make sure you refresh. Okay, refresh your browser page, and then do it again, and you'll see it working. Okay, thank you again for that reminder. All right, so let's go ahead, and yeah, because some people say they wasn't working on the flashlight. It's working now. Okay, so just go ahead and refresh your browser on the shopping cart page, type in NOV22, all one word, in capital letters, and hit apply, and that discount should apply for the healing flashlight. Okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on into questions, as I was mentioning before. Okay. Okay, here's one from Darling, and I also had a similar question here, so this is why I'm going to address it. Darling ... says, have you heard of Sky Prince? Works with Galactic, she says. Reval and medbed rollout in a couple of weeks. Pull cards, please. I can tell you that that's not happening. Okay? And with all due respect, Darling, don't even really need to pull cards. I will pull cards, but we really don't need to. Okay? Guys, I've been hearing that now for the past 12 years of my life. Okay? 12 years ago is really where I started hearing a lot about medbeds. Right? It goes back quite a few years. And I've had people of all different kinds who say that they're galactic representatives, that they're galactic ambassadors, that they're experts on galactic affairs, that they have some particular type of channeling prestige to them. And with all due respect, the information that they shared was complete and total bullshit. Okay? No offense, guys, and I'm only giving you my perspective here, and it's nothing against the people as well, too, but on a professional level, what they're offering people, it's crap. Okay? Because I've been hearing for the past 12 years, oh, Brad, we just have to wait a couple more weeks, and then there's going to be a rollout of med beds, and then we're going to have the revaluation. Guys, you're being filled with hopium. You're getting high off hopium, because that's not going to happen. Okay? And I've said that for years on end. And every single time I've said that, it hasn't happened. Right? And I'm not trying to put any doom and gloom with you guys in that way. But with all due respect, guys, you have to put on your discernment filters. You can't just let some channeler who says, oh, okay, guys, I have connections with Galactics. But guys, I have connections with Adronis. Who gives a crap? Right? That doesn't give you any merit. Because you're a channeler, who cares? Right? Because you have connections, oh, I work with Galactics. Yeah, who cares? I work with Adronis. Okay? Not once in the near 15 plus years that I've worked with him has he ever given me a med bed. Okay? I've gone up to ships and I've seen exactly what they use, and it's brilliant, it's beautiful. And this is one of the closest things that you're going to get to it. Okay? And the same thing goes with the Taurus bed. The Taurus bed kit is one of the closest things you're going to get to it pertaining to the public. Okay, guys, you cannot have this technology when the pharmaceutical companies exist. You can't. It's not possible. As long as those pharmaceutical companies exist, and they are still thriving because they're still multi-billion-dollar companies. And they still rely on all of these pharmaceutical drugs and pharmaceutical content that they're creating. And do you think that they're just going to step aside graciously and let these med beds that can basically replace limbs to come out and roll out for billions of people all over the planet to go to while they just step aside and nothing happens? Get your discernment filters on, because that's a bunch of crap. Okay? And I'm only just sharing my way truthfully from my heart. It is my perspective. But again, I've said this so many times. And every time I've said it, all due respect, I'm not saying this with boasting, but I've been right every single time. Okay? And again, people get excited. They talk to these people who just get some prestige. And hey guys, I talked to Galactics and I channel this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm channeling the Galactic Federation. And I'm channeling the Ashtar Command. And I'm channeling the Silver Legion. And I'm channeling the Lyran Alliance and blah, 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 blah. Who gives a crap? Right? It's like Daryl Anka's been channeling Bashar for well over 30 years. And you don't see him coming up as, oh yeah, there's medbeds coming up, blah, blah, blah. No. And with me, been channeling Adronis now for 15 years. And you're not saying, okay, well, med beds are going to be rolling out here, guys, in 2 weeks' time. No. You're being lied to. Right? You are getting hopium. As cool as it would be, I would love to come on here and say, okay, guys, next week we're getting all these galactic-style SSP med beds coming out, and there's all these wellness centers that are going to open up, and you just have to pay about $500, and you can go get limbs regenerated. Okay, that will happen at some point, but not right now. We're not in the right era for that. We're basically getting out of the change era here. We're not even in the renewal era yet. Okay, and the renewal era still needs to play itself out. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the cards. Let's go ahead, and if you guys don't want to hear any more of me talking about, oh, Brad, what do you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, let's take a look at the cards, right? And like I said, I'm not saying you guys have to believe me. I really couldn't care less if you guys believe me or not, right? But nonetheless, I just share what's in my heart and bring it out here and take it for what it's worth. But I've seen so many people who have been hurt because they have been so enthusiastic of these med beds. I've seen it happen back in 2011. I've seen it happen back in 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. People I know who are on my Facebook account, who I talk to, who are just so ecstatic. Oh my God, Brad, this is coming out in 2 weeks. I can't wait. I said, you just be careful. Right? You are putting way too much. Oh, come on, Brad, don't be so negative. It's going to happen. Then it rolls out, nothing happens. And what happens? Their heart sinks down to their abdomen because they had so much friggin' hopium. And that is what's happening so much on the stupid internet today, is because we get all our hopes set up, nothing happens, and you guys are heartbroken. And I keep telling you guys, settle down. Settle down, because it's not happening. Oh, come on, Brad, what do you know, blah, 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 blah. And it doesn't come, blah. And then you guys are just defeated. You feel like crap because you put so much hope into something from some weird channeler who barely has any particular type of merit whatsoever, who thinks that they're going to get med beds out. It's a bunch of garbage. It's hot garbage. All right? Anyways, let's take a look at what the cards say. Sometimes I have to go on a tangent on it, guys, because I've heard it so much. And I got to basically do a tangent on it, right? Again, there's going to be a point where that will come about. There's going to be a point where that will take place. It's just not the time right now. Okay, there's just so much other things that need to be taken down. That's basically what this is saying right now. It's time for people to stand up. It's time for things to be transformed, right? It's time we take everything pertaining to our experience, our leadership, our knowledge, and we make a better world. And as that happens, we can lead into something better. But we're still in the midst of doing that. We're in the middle of all this right now. When a lot of this stuff culminates and your pharmaceutical companies start turning into something that's actually reputable and respectable, then you can start to see technology like med beds coming out. Or if we're seeing the idea of RV reset. Okay, we're still in the middle of all that stuff. We're still in the middle of an RV reset, okay? Right now it says, yes, okay. Right now the people need to stand up, okay? Right now there needs to be some effort, some work being done from everything that we have experienced, and we need to take a stand, okay? The whole world is being affected by this, and this is not the time for wishful thinking of believing that you're going to be getting med beds next week. That's temptation. It's exactly what you're getting here. This is a temptation card shown right here, okay? And I don't know. I can't guarantee everybody's going to come out of that situation where they're filling themselves with so much hopium, right? Peace needs to be brought forward to where there is chaos. And people are just willing to say anything right now to try and create a following so that they can make hundreds of thousands of dollars off you, because I said, oh guys, there's a med bed coming next week, and I got to try and seize on this and make as much money as I can within 7 days while I can ride this wave. Right? Or I can get all these people on my social media now, and I got hundreds of thousands of friends because I told them that med beds are coming out next week, and then what happens? And then next week doesn't come. What happens to that person? Collapses. And some of these people, in that sense, truly believe 100% that the med beds are coming. They believe it without a shadow of a doubt. And then when that doesn't come, they get crushed. Right? Their life gets turned upside down. Right? And rather than buying into their garbage, you basically say, you know what, I would basically stop what you're doing, and you need to look inside yourself because your discernment filters aren't on. You're basically just running around half-cocked. You're filling a bunch of people with hope, and you're taking a bunch of other people down with you. Right? And it is very, very hazardous. This is why I say you guys have to be careful when you hear people like that spewing at the top of their lungs, med beds coming in 2 weeks. RV reset coming in 2 weeks. Yeah, bullshit is really the response here, right? Because I've heard it again and again and again and again through years, and it has not happened. We're not there yet. Closest thing the public can get to any kind of healing bed is with what etherics has. And I'm just stating that as a fact. I have not seen anybody else that has created anything like what I have created with etherics. Haven't seen anybody create something like that. The closest thing is biogeometry, right? And even theirs is kind of limited because they have certain tools. It's beneficial, but again, it's not that powerful, right? It's basically on scale. If you build it much more larger on mass and scale, you got something really good there. But again, you got these trinkets, and they're strong and they're good and they're beneficial in many different ways. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about using something that really just comes from the center of source itself, rather than using shapes, angles, or anything of that particular nature for drawing in the source vibration. Bring the source vibration in itself. Nobody's done that except etherics, right? So I'm just telling you guys that as fact. Anyways, this is the whole idea. Be careful of the greedy. Be careful of the people who want your energy, who are going to tell you any stupid crap that is going to try and put them up here and just getting praised. Oh my God, what a wonderful person. He works with the Galactics, and I know he's going to go ahead and get everybody to come down. He's going to get a bunch of ships to come down here and drop off a bunch of med beds. Stupidness, right? And that's exactly what they try to do. And people are just so desperate for hopium that they'll fall right into it, okay? So this is basically telling you, be careful of the misers. Be careful of the greedy. Be careful of the people with the silver tongues, right? You got to be discerning. This is basically what it's telling you. Be discerning with what you hear. You got to turn on your discernment filters. I'm not saying you guys to be pessimistic or to be skeptics in a horrifying way, but you need to really come and say, no, because you have to look at the condition of the world right now. As much as we would love med beds, and med beds are going to be exciting, they are going to come at some particular point, but you're probably looking at least another 15, 20, 30 years before something like that even possibly comes out that would be a minuscule version of what everybody's heard about the SSP med beds. Okay? So I know when I say these things, oh, Brad's trying to burst our bubble, and guys, I'm trying to burst your bubble of hopium. That's exactly what I'm doing. And again, it's not my first rodeo talking about people who come on the internet and they start blabbing about med beds and filling people with so much hope because it's hurting those people, right? Those people are coming from a very desperate situation. They're hurt a lot, and now they just get this hopium. And now when it doesn't come, they get crushed even more, right? It really is horrible. It's almost like a smear campaign within itself. Please be careful with these so-called channelers who probably don't even channel saying this crap, right? Because it honestly, in many different ways, it does annoy me, right? Because I see exactly what happens to people when those dates don't happen, when nothing comes up, and they're just broken inside. Now the healing needs to be even more intense, right? So yeah, that kind of rubs me the wrong way when I see people like that. Something I'll surrender to later on, but nonetheless, we have to talk about that. All right? Okay, so thank you very much for your question. And again, it is a good question because a lot of people, you're not the only one, darling, ... who has been talking about this. I've had people throughout social media ask me about this, about med beds and stuff like that. And I've said the exact same thing to them as I said to you guys today. All right? So I know that feeling. Okay, this one here is from Dur. Let me just make sure I do have some other donation requests. Okay, so I just want to make sure I get to them first. So we have one here from, I just found it here, Golden Rule. Golden Rule says, does everyone or everything have a soul? If not, why? Well, you firstly have to understand what a soul is before I can answer your question, okay? You basically have to look at two different degrees when it comes to the nature of a soul. So basically you have what's known as the entity soul, or the incarnate soul, or the holographic soul. That represents a condensed aspect pertaining to the soul that basically embodies the body. And then you have the true aspect relating to the soul that does not incarnate at all. That is simply the witness body. That is simply the observation body. Through the nature of the observation witness body, everything is. Okay? All things are. Now, when you're looking at the nature of artificial intelligence, you would look at it from the example that it is an imprint of soul. Okay, it may not be a soulful entity. Okay, it may not be an entity soul. It may be something that, again, is the manifestation of a creation. It is a created expression of the soul. So when I look at it in that way, I would say, yes, everything pretty much is of soul. Because everything that is of soul resides throughout life. Okay, we're not just looking at the idea, okay, Brad, if there's a person that's walking down my street, if it's my next door neighbor, how do I know if he has a soul or not? You don't. Because you're not in tune to that realm. You're not in tune to that type of plane. You're not in tune to that particular type of plane altogether representing the nature of the soul. You're not there. So of course you don't know. Is it possible to get there? Absolutely. Right? But that again is being able to see yourself beyond a body and beyond a mind, to where you can truly know the soul. And when you have your interactions with that neighbor, you know that he is you or she is you. You are the only one here. Really, it just comes down to one soul, and that's you. You are the one soul. So we have this particular type of degree that represents the incarnate or the entity soul, and then we look at the true soul. Right? The true soul that is the witness, the true soul that is the observer, the true soul that is truly the divine architect of all of life. And there's only one soul. Really, it comes down to that. We may feel that there are trillions and quadrillions and quintillions and a googolplex relating to the nature of soul, but that is only perception. Right? That's the idea of taking the ocean and grabbing a cup and then getting an eyedropper out of it and then just trying to count the number of drops. Why are you doing that? There's only one ocean. Right? So just like there's just one ocean, there's just one soul. Even if we scoop a jar up, even if we take an eyedropper out and say, okay, well, here's a soul aspect, here's a soul aspect, here's a soul aspect. Yeah, you could count that way, but why would you do that? Right? Because again, as long as you continue to see duality, you do not know the truth. As long as something pertaining to life comes to you in a dualistic nature, you will never know what truth is. Anything that represents the nature of duality is not the truth. Everything that represents the union of all is the truth. Okay? So you really won't understand that until you understand the nature of your own oneness. You truly won't understand that until you realize that everyone and everything, whether it is something that represents a soulful being, or whether it represents a creation, whether it represents an expression, it doesn't matter. It's all the soul, right? The soul would be the idea of what you would term as the facilitator of all consciousness. And as that everything is consciousness, everything resides within the one. Okay? So when you're looking at the nature of a soul, you firstly have to understand what the soul is. Right? And there you go, you have the first and the second degree. First degree representing the entity soul, that which embodies here in this body. That again is a projection of the true soul, level 2. Right? Even if we don't even look at levels, we just say first aspects and the totality. Right? Here's an aspect and here's the totality. And that's really how we look at it. Now I know what some people are trying to say. Well, Brad, there must be soulless beings walking upon the planet. Well, yes, there is. But again, if you're still looking at it in that way, you still don't understand the soul. Why say the soul when you don't even know what it is? Right? That's like me trying to say a term that I just heard and I have no idea what it means. Why do I keep using that term? I have to understand exactly what the soul is. And when I truly understand what the soul is, everything, the umbrella of the soul, touches all facets of life. Right? Everything, everyone, all that is the soul. Because there's only one of it. All right? Thank you for your question, Golden Rule. All right, let's go down to the second donation-based question I had here. All right, this one here is from Dare. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Dare. Hi, Brad. Can you give an update on XRP? Okay, so that is the cryptocurrency that people are talking about. Okay, I've talked about it as well, too. And I know there's a lot of mixed opinions in regards to cryptocurrency. A lot of people in that sense do appreciate it. A lot of people think that it's one of the biggest scams there is because it's not real money. Okay, but nonetheless, if you're really into XRP, let's take a look in regards to where it is. Let's move into the idea of between now and the first quarter of 2024. relating to XRP. Okay, how will XRP do on the market? Okay, so interesting here. So we got the Knight of Wands, so it feels like it's kind of going steady. I still don't see anything in regards to this particular card representing a surge. I feel like it is going steady right now, okay? It may move up a little bit, right? I don't think it's going to be a major, uphill climb that's going to lead to XRP doing, prosperously well like Bitcoin or anything of that nature. I think it's going to do good. I don't think it's going to do great, okay? So it kind of gives me the impression that it's doing all right, okay? But like I said, it's really the people behind it. The people behind it that are behind XRP are really what's responsible for its greatness, okay? That's the most important thing to look at here. But it is something that's still growing. It still needs time, guys. You still need years for the XRP itself to grow. And it feels like it's going to make a little bit of a climb, okay? And that's great, okay? But again, more people that are behind it, you're going to see transformation. More people that are investing in it, you're going to see transformation. And it still hasn't reached that particular breach point yet. It still needs to make it a bit more of a climb before it gets to that point, but it shows promise, it shows momentum behind it. So I'd say between now and the first quarter, it'll do good, but it won't be great, right? So if I'm looking at the line here, kind of like that. Not like this, but kind of like that, okay? For the up to the first quarter of 2024. So it has good leeway, but not great leeway. And that's what I can share about it right now. I'm not a consultant of finances, guys, so just letting you know that. But that's what I can get in regards to XRP. I have talked about XRP before, and I said that it does have a promising potential, okay? But a potential, not a definite, okay? A potentiality. You just have to kind of watch it. You have to see exactly where it's going. Okay, I know a lot of people want to invest in that, and that's your own business, and that's fine. But like I said, it's going to do good, but it's not going to do great. Just letting you know that, okay? Thank you, Dare, for your question. All right, let's go through the list here, because those were the two donation-based questions I have. Okay. Okay, here's one from Reba. Reba says, "Hi, Brad, can you expand on the digital ID that has been approved by the EU? Will it go ahead in the UK and worldwide?" All right, so let's take a look at this digital ID, because it's also a question I've gotten in the past. And it certainly has been delayed for a significant amount of time. Because again, guys, when you look at COVID, that's exactly what they were trying to do. They were trying to bring forward a COVID ID. They were basically trying to ID people through the nature of inoculation, right? And that was very much their goal. So let's take a look in regards to seeing where things are right now, because there was a setback with that. So let's take a look at the idea of a EU approving a digital ID. How far will it go throughout the UK and throughout the world? All right, let's take a look. Okay, so the current is the digital ID. Yeah, it's going to have a lot of clashing with it. Okay, and I don't feel like it's going to lead to something that is going to be detrimental pertaining to tagging people with this digital ID and basically trying to make them into, well, I don't really want to say anything derogatory here, but basically in that sense, keep them on a leash in that way. Okay, there's a lot of fighting that's going to go towards this. All right, there's a clashing pertaining to digital ID, and I've gotten similar readings when I was looking at it in the past regarding COVID, right, pertaining to that, because they were trying to bring digital IDs through the inoculations. Okay, it feels like things are going to be a lot better with it, so I don't feel it's going to roll out in the way that they think it will, right? So I feel like there's a lot of protection that is surrounding an attempt of trying just to tag everybody, right, to put everybody on a leash. Okay, feels like there is, again, a lot of counterforce presence that is going to prevent any of those particular IDs from rolling out en masse to where it becomes mandatory. People want those IDs. It really is just going to be under the supposition of voluntary. Okay, people may voluntarily want those digital IDs, and in some way they'll get it. But for a person in that sense who does not want it, well, look in regards to what's happened with the vaccinations with COVID, guys. Those of you who did not want it did not get it, right? Some people caved in, okay? But again, people who really stood their ground and say, no, I'm not going to have any particular ID, and I don't care what it does. I don't care if I can't leave the country. I don't care if I can't leave my home. I'm not putting this stuff into my body. It's not going to happen. And look what happened, right? It's exactly what I said would happen, right? It's something that is going to take a little bit of time, but at the end of the entire chaos, people are going to be able to stand on the planet without being poked, without being injected, and it happened, right? And that's because of us, because of the power that we have. So I feel like there's going to be maybe some regulations, there's going to be some balancing, there's going to be some law and order pertaining to the digital IDs. And I don't think it's going to be made mandatory. It just depends upon the country. But I don't think it's going to be made into a mandatory construct. Okay? So we're seeing here again with the King of Cups, there's going to be some emotional appeal about this. And it's going to be stood up against, just like COVID was stood up against. And again, I do not see the entire world getting chipped or tagged or leashed in regards to the nature of a digital ID. It will be something that will be voluntary, not mandatory. Okay? That's what I'm getting. Thank you very much for your question, Reba. All right, let's go ahead and move on. All right. Martin Hallwart says, hi Brad, when does a soul decide to leave the body? When everything that it's decided to experience here has come into a culmination and climax, therefore deciding to leave. You, as the soul, decide when that time comes. Now, we really don't know when that time comes. Even with a person who's very much in tune may not know exactly when it may come. They have an impression, but they may not know exactly when that time will come, right? It's kind of like how Jesus would talk about the idea in that sense of it is like a thief in the night, right? You do not know for when the thief may come, right? But you're standing watch. So the whole idea in that sense of the soul is that has come here because it is a certain point of learning. And once that point of learning has become quenched, it's become satiated, life in that sense takes a new form and it goes beyond the body again. And each of us have our own ways of that. So I can't really answer that question generically, but it's the idea to where everything pertaining to what the entity themselves, right, the personality consciousness themselves, the soul themselves, basically has been satiated for everything that they needed to do here, will therefore lead to the release of the body, to therefore returning back into the union of the self. Okay, that's the idea. Thank you for your question. Okay. All right, so yes, I've already done a few people with the full body source healing, and it's been really an amazing journey. Like, I've had some really good positive experiences, just the way that I'm doing the sessions as well too. It is a long session. When I'm doing the full body source healing session, it's a long one. It really takes on average about an hour or so to complete a session. And again, there's been some wonderful clients who I've had so far, and there's been some really great feedback with it, right? People are waking up giddy. People are waking up and they feel like their whole body has been rejuvenated and reborn because I do healing on the areas that are lacking, pertaining to whether it's a bad organ or whether it's the idea of an energetic misalignment, whatever it may be. Just being able to correct those areas. And then they wake up the next morning and they're feeling alive and vigorous and strong and revitalized. And it's a wonderful feeling when I get that feedback. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to look into that full body source healing session or even just the standalone nutrition and genetic scan session too. Okay, let's go down the list here a bit more. Okay, Susan M. asks, hi Brad, thank you for your services to humanity. With so many toxins in our food, is it safe to eat seafood from Alaska waters? How about Maine? Actually, you're asking about the two areas that could actually be the most beneficial to actually eat seafood, okay? There has been a lot of discussion pertaining to Maine area or to Alaska, and those are actually two very clean areas. In fact, there's an energetic nutrition. There's a strong, potent nutrition relating to those areas. So I'll even look at the cards for this one as well too. But when you're basically bringing up those two areas, that would actually probably be the two areas to go to, because they basically may have the most mineralization, the greatest nutrient content pertaining to their food supply. Okay, but let's take a look in regards to what could the cards say about that. So is it safe to eat seafood from Alaska waters or Maine? Okay, let's take a look. What I would suggest, guys, is even if you're concerned about that, you have one of these, okay? Or you have the safeguards as well, too, okay? You have the safeguards that are helping you out with it. Like I said, environmental safeguards, personal safeguards. You have the healing flashlight, okay? Like I said, this is the most potent one of them all, okay? If you have that, this is what I would suggest, okay? Let's say your plate of food is down here, and you're just not too sure. Okay, maybe I got some Alaskan salmon for dinner, okay? And I'll just start doing this. If this is the salmon right here, I'm just shining this on the salmon for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Okay, for about 30 seconds to 1 minute, I'm shining this down on my entire food. 30 seconds go by. Okay, maybe I'll do it for a full minute. I'd say do at least 30 seconds, right? If you want to do it for a full minute, go for it. Okay. After that time's done, enjoy your meal. Okay. This is going to change your life significantly. It's already been changing mine. When I got this the other day and I just started working on my finger, like, oh my God, the strain is gone, the stiffness is gone, the aching is gone from my fingers. This will probably be very beneficial for those of you who have arthritis. Okay, if you guys have arthritic pain within your joints of your hand, okay, just like this. That's all you got to do. 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, even if you want to go longer, you can go longer. Right, that's even in the video that I'm going to be bringing up here. That'll be uploading to YouTube here very shortly today. A little bit more about the healing flashlights. Okay, so if you're uncertain, if you look at Alaska or if you look at Maine, and say, okay, well, is there stuff fresh? Even if it doesn't feel like it is to you, use that. Okay, and that's really going to help you out. And don't worry, guys, I'm going to be getting a lot more, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come for the healing flashlights. Brad, where's the healing flashlights? Where's the healing flashlights? It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Keep your pants on. It's coming. There's more coming as well, too, when these ones get sold out. So more is on the way. Okay, so let's take a look at Alaska and Maine seafood. Okay. Okay, so the advisement cards are basically saying this is pretty good, but again, like I said, just keep your wits about you. It's the most important thing. Doesn't mean everything in that area that represents all of Alaska, all of Maine are going to be good. But mainly through the advisement cards here is saying there's some goodness relating to Alaska and Maine itself. Okay, so this is representing the current. Have a little discernment, right? If you're just not too sure, if your intuition is saying, I just don't know. I just don't know. Okay, do I have a healing flashlight? Yep. Okay. Do I have the healing code cards, right? Do I have the food and drink enhancer? Yes, I'll go ahead and use that. Yep, that would work too as well. Okay. King of Wands, this is representing the situation. Okay. So there's kind of a strength, right? There's a strength, there's a potency representing the seafood, both from Alaska and from Maine altogether. Okay. So the past, again, is some people may be worried about that. They're just saying, what's a good thing to eat anymore? I don't even know where the good stuff is, right? Is there even any good stuff on our planet anymore, right? So helping to, again, just utilize your discernment. Be careful about these greedy markets as well, too. Maybe they may start overcharging in regards to that as well, too. So you have to kind of use your discernment. If you're, again, ordering seafood and maybe if the price is going up, right? Maybe there's a discernment factor that comes together, right? But stand strong. Again, if we know that where the good food is, we want to make sure we're preserving that. We want to make sure that we're watching over it. We're protecting it, right? We're protecting those oceans in Alaska. We're protecting what Maine has as well, too. So it can represent the idea of just standing up, protecting that, making sure that everything that represents goodness and potency are remaining intact, and we're the gatekeepers to help that along, right? So that's kind of what I'm getting. So it's kind of like overall it's saying, yes, it's quite good, but also use your discernment. Just because something's good doesn't mean they're all going to be good 100%. Use your discernment here. Work with a device that can help you to know that when you're eating food, it's the goodness that's coming in altogether. Okay? Keep that goodness alive through simple tools that you can use, like the healing flashlight. All right? Thank you very much for your question. Okay, how are we on time here? 11:11. It's 11:11. Great timing. Excellent. All right, so we got about another 20 minutes before we wrap up. Okay, I think we got the whole healing flashlight situation on the website resolved, so I won't go into those. Okay, Turn Up Every Day asks, when will the normal glasses come back on Etherics? Guys, if you're referring to the clear glasses, they're available right now. They are available on etherics.co. Guys, make sure you're tuning into my newsletters, because I mentioned this in the newsletters, that we have a new batch of the visor sunglasses, both clear and sunglasses, that are available. They are available on Etherics right now. Okay, so you can find that in newest arrivals. You can find that in the drop-down list under sunglasses, okay, or accessories, I believe it is, and you can find it there. If you can't find something specifically within those pages, just go to the search, right? Click on the search and just type in visors, okay, and they will come up, and you'll see it there. Same thing with the flashlight. If you can't find the flashlight, just type it in the search, flashlight, on the website on etherics.co, and it will come up, okay? Turn Up Every Day says, what batteries does the flashlight use? It uses a particular rechargeable flashlight. I'm not too sure of the brand name of it, but basically it's a rechargeable flashlight that's contained. It will last quite a lot of charges. This is actually quite a very good quality, heavy-duty flashlight, but it's a portable one, right? It's a portable, heavy-duty. It's kind of like what people will use when they're hiking or when they're camping, right? It's really powerful. If you really turned up the notch, really turn up the juice, okay, it can really shine a great deal of distance from you, okay? But really what we're using this for is a healing tool, and I wanted to get a really good quality portable flashlight for everybody, so you can take it everywhere they go, right? Because it's not just something that you're going to carry a big bulky flashlight around you. We want something portable, right? Women will want something to put into their purses. Men may want something to put into their pockets or into their backpacks or something of that nature. If you have a fanny pack, well, there you go. But something portable that you can use when you're on the go, when you're traveling. Turn on that flashlight, and to everybody else, you're just, just playing with my flashlight. That's all. They're saying, why does this guy the guy's on the airplane, he just keeps playing with his flashlight. He just keeps doing this all the time. What's he doing? I'm just playing with a game. Playing a game with my flashlight. Oh, okay, yeah, it's a nice flashlight. Yeah, isn't it? It's so good. Yeah, but you're like moving around your hand. Yeah, because I'm playing a game. I want to see exactly how my hand looks under the light. Right? You just play the game with him, and you'll be fine. All right. Whatever story you want to tell is fine by me. Okay, let's go to a donation-based question here. This is from Sunflower. Sunflower says, good day. What are the best healing codes to use on an allergy? You want to work with a sinus enhancer, okay? So again, a lot of the allergies can be found in different organs, but you want to start off with a sinus enhancer first, and then maybe go into the lungs, right? Work with your respiratory system as well too, and just cleaning it all out. So work with the lungs enhancer, work with the sinus enhancer. Once you start working with quite a few of the different organs, work with the major organ purifier, and that will also help you out with that, okay? Thank you, Sunflower. I like that you guys are actually bringing up questions about my products. That's showing me that you're using my products, and that means a lot to me. So thank you for that. Okay, let me just go down the list here a bit more. Oh, here's a good question here from Clara. Clara says, hi, everyone. I have a question. Where do humans stand in the spiritual hierarchy? We're at the bottom of the list. It's basically where it is, because really the nature of humanity, do you know what you guys are really here to learn? You're learning how to be free. You're learning how to use the essence of love, because the essence of love is what's going to bring you into that boundless freedom, right? When you're looking at angels, archangels, seraphim in that way, they don't really focus on love and freedom. They're a lot more focused towards God, right? They are servants of God. They are masters of God, right? They are creators of God. Okay, that's really where they focus on. What we are representing is being free from the human equation and being loving beings of God, right? You are loving, freeing beings of the divine, freeing beings of God. That's where we stand. So we would basically be fourth if we're looking at those four altogether, right? Angels, archangels, seraphim, okay? And just below angels, humans, okay? That's where we stand, which means we are of an angelic quality ourselves. That's really what we are. And when you start moving much more into knowing that you are a living God, then you're moving more up the ladder, right? You're moving way past angels. You're moving up more into the archangel and seraphim quality. And then you basically even move beyond that, and where you're just basically a creator God. The creator God even goes above the seraphim, right? So that could basically be the fifth one. So moving into creator God consciousness, where basically you're given your own universe and you are able to create life, right? That's really where we're looking at the the grand scale of things here altogether, is you're learning a lot about love and freedom. You're learning about compassion and service. You're learning about dedication and duty, loyalty. And you're also looking into the idea of being that pure devotion, that devotee to God, that true servant of God, right? That who performs God's will, manifestors of God, moving all the way up into Creator God, where you have your own universe and you can start creating all life in the universe as you are the Creator God of that particular universe. Because all universes are not the same. In fact, very few universes support life like what we would understand. If you were able to go into the majority of many other universes, they would basically just be void. There's nothing there. There's no support system that's there, right? But if you come into this universe, and there are some other universes like it that do support life. Other universes are basically just a blank slate. They're basically just void. There's nothing there that we would understand. Nothing that we could ever conceive of or perceive. It's like looking at voidance, right? So again, certain creator gods will be given their own void, where they will fill that voidance pertaining to life. I'm not talking about the nature of your imagination or anything of that nature. I'm talking about you being able to utilize the power of life through God to create your own universe and to experience every microcosm to macrocosm of life in that universe. It is beauty, it is bliss, it is expansion, it is wonder beyond anything that we could ever possibly imagine. But that's the nature of yourself. You're learning to be Creator God. You're learning to move into the essence of God itself, right? So humans' goal is to get out of their despair, come out of their duality, learn to harness love, to come here, to be in their center. When you're in center, you're free. This is freedom right here. This is not freedom. This is not love. This is lack. This is ego. This is ahamkara. I should do this. I shouldn't do that. I. Right? It's the shadow of yourself masquerading as the I, and you buying into it. Right? That's duality. You take the shadow out of the equation altogether. You stay here. As you stay here in the center, you remain free. You remain boundless. And that is you graduating beyond the human design. And now you can move up into the higher levels, as previously mentioned. That's the idea. Okay? Thank you, Claire. It's a very good question as well, too. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Carol asks a good question. Brad, does the healing flashlight work for animals as well? Yes. Also works for plants. Okay? So I got my little plants here in the background as well, too. And I can just shine the flashlight on them, and that will help them tremendously as well. You're looking at the source center vibration. It is the center for all life. All life comes from the source center, right? All life comes from and returns back to the source center, which means everything that lives is the source center vibration, right? The source center vibration is the essence to all life, which means you can never have enough. You can never have enough source center vibration. So if I'm just turning this on, I may only have enough time with, have flashing a light in my face or around me for a certain amount of time before the batteries run out. But everything that I'm getting here is not just the light itself, it is the source center vibration, right? We actually just got a kitten. We got a kitten the other day. We named him Gizmo. He's a little black kitten. He's only 13 weeks old. And like I said, he's just a beautiful little cat. And again, I was actually doing some healing work on him last night, or this morning as well, too. And so he's a new addition to our life. And again, that's looking at the beauty of God right there. Through your animals, through your plants, through everything that represents nature, from the microcosmic to the macrocosmic, it's all God. It's all source center vibration. Because the source center vibration is that energetic that is contained in the event horizon of the center of all life. And when you harness that, everything in your body gets rejuvenated. Right? It's exactly how I'm able to do the healing work that I do, guys. It's exactly why I get people that come to me doing a full body source healing on them. The next morning they're feeling incredible. All I did was work with the source healing vibration. All I'm doing is working with God. All I'm doing is working with the divine. And it shows how it works, right? It's amazing. It's wonderful. But like I said, spirit will not take away what you hold on to. And if you hold on to pain, if you hold on to your inconveniences and your disturbances because of identity, God will never take that away. Spirit cannot take that away because you hold on to it. You're grasping it. You have to let go. Once you let go, now that whole essence itself pertaining to trouble can be neutralized and absorbed back into the center. And that's what the source center vibration does. This is what I'm teaching my students right now in the academy. Speaking of the academy as well too, once I'm finished the 6 months, which will be around the time of March, then that particular course that I do will function as a standalone course, right? Which means I'll still offer some guidance through live interactions, but they'll probably be monthly altogether soon because I'm just getting so busy. But that will be available after the 6 months for you guys who have not been able to sign up to it and do it in your own time as well too. Okay, it's month-to-month payments. It's like Netflix. Simple as that. Okay. Let's go down the list here. We got about 10 minutes left. Okay, Gabriella here says, question, how can we better prepare ourselves for the next few months since the financial collapse in the WW3 PSYOP is coming shortly? End of November, maybe some of financial change. Well, that's not what I was getting at all. I wasn't getting anything about a WW3 coming. Okay, like I said, guys, this is just another rehash of Russia versus Ukraine. And when you're looking at Israel, the Israel bombardment right now is just another version of it. It's not going to go anywhere. Guys, you're not going to experience World War III. Okay? It is not going to be an official declaration. It's never going to happen. Okay? There has certainly been a shadow war behind the scenes, but we don't really have a name for it. We have basically referred to it as the shadow war. Technically, that's not even a WW3, but it's close to the idea because there's been no official declaration. And it really represents much more of a war of a mind, right? It's a mind war. It's not using bombs. It's using thoughts. It's using vibration. It's using frequency. It's using distortion. It's using psychology to confuse you, right? That's the warfare. The warfare here is a mental warfare. It's not with bombs, right? Some areas around the planet may have those little scuffles, but that's not really the nature of it altogether. It is a mental warfare. And that is the unofficial Third World War. But it's a shadow war, okay? There will never be an official declaration of a WW3. You don't have to worry about that, okay? So what can we do to prepare? This is my answer all the time for such a question. What am I doing right now? Coming into center. Can I find peace by being here? Can anybody answer that question? Can I find peace by being, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What's going to happen? What's going to happen tomorrow? What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? What's happening? Guys, do you think I'm just sharing this stuff about the ego just for entertainment purposes? I'm telling you guys that the reason that you're in despair is because you value the shadow more than yourself. And the shadow is the ahamkara. It is the ego. It is that shadow that is masquerading as you when it's not you. You need to come to terms with your fears, with your anxiety, with your panic, with you feeling like you're getting completely out of control here because you're watching the media. Well, then turn it off. Oh, but my friend says, then turn it off. Turn everything off and come back to the breath, right? Dilate yourself. And this is what I refer to as going into the low idle state of being, the subtle state of being, and you're just following the breath. Heart rate variability, like I taught on this channel so many times. Gabriella, are you new here? Welcome. If you're not new here and you've heard me say this before, well, then you already know, right? So you're working with the breath. 4 seconds in through the nose, 6 seconds out through the nose. Have you guys watched my video, The Process to Ending All Suffering, the 6 steps? If the answer is no, go watch it, because that will help you, okay? Again, we are asking these questions, and again, some of you may not know that I have that video, and if you know that I have that video, then you know exactly where to find it, right? But if you're asking this question, you already know that that video exists, you need to pay more attention to that video, because that video is getting you out of your suffering. Remember what I said in regards to where the position of humanity is pertaining to the rest of the divine. We were at the bottom level, and the only reason we're at the bottom level is because humanity is one of these great races that's still caught up in the mess and illusion of duality. How do we prepare? How do you prepare? Be here, right? There's no preparation for being, okay, I'm going to prepare to be in center. Prepare to be in center, prepare to be in center, prepare to be in center. Why would I prepare to be in center? I'm in the center. Right? There's nothing in regards to preparation pertaining to it. If you need to just let yourself relax and get out of this and soften, then you go back to the breath. You go into Om chanting. You start doing this with your right hand. Does anybody know what this is? Well, Brad, it's a source vibration gesture. It is. What did the Romans used to call this? They used to call this the hand of Jupiter because it brings nothing but good fortune, right? Japanese also said something very similar to this, representing a hand of good luck or a hand of good fortune, okay? Because you're doing this. You're doing this. This is also the source vibration gesture. And just being here and just radiating that source center vibration through you brings you here. There's no preparation to being in the center, right? What a lot of people fear is the fear of giving up the very things that they're tormented by. You're afraid of giving up what tortures you. You're afraid of what you're afraid to give up that has caused you nothing but torture, nothing but torment, nothing but turmoil. Because you think you deserve it. You think you deserve to be punished. You think you deserve to be this big. When I'm telling you, you are the size of creation itself, that you are unsizable. And you will know that when you're here. This is the grand teaching that many mystics, including Jesus Christ, was trying to teach everybody. Be here. Here's the kingdom of heaven, guys. What I'm doing right now is the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Your center. When I'm in the center, I am with God. When I am in the center, I am one with Spirit. Because I've been able to let everything go. I have softened and softened and softened and softened, and now I've let everything go, and this is what remains. That is perfection. That is freedom. So, no preparation necessary. It's simply to be in the center. Okay? Again, you guys are just creating these particular stories for something to be worried about. Financial collapse, worldwide 3 psyop. So does that bring fear to your heart? Why? Because you're basically at a leash with your finances. You're at a leash in regards to what politicians and MSM are saying on the television, thinking that you're only going to create your own chaos. And that's true. You're only going to create chaos based upon the intensity of fear that you hold within your heart, because you have basically been chowing down on manure sandwiches for the majority of your life, and fear is all that you know. And it's time to make a change. It's time to flatten all that out by being here, by just breathing, by just Om chanting, by just doing this, right? And clearing out all your debris, right? With the healing flashlight, helping yourself to wind down so that you're not in pain, you're not in ache, you're not in soreness, you're not in stiffness, you're just here. Here's paradise. Here's freedom. Here's God. That's where you need to be. And I'm telling you this, guys, first-hand experience, because this is where I am. Okay? And I'm only passing on what has worked for me to you guys. But what I keep seeing so much is how people just give in to so much pertaining to the melodramas of the stories of life, and you give so much power to it. If this was a supernova and I turn it on, that's how much power you're giving to your fear. That's how much power you're giving to dread. That's how much power you're giving to terror. That's how much power you're giving to turmoil. That's how much power you're giving to torment. That's how much power you're giving to your own personal hell. And as long as you stay in that personal hell, you are never, ever going to truly see what the real light is. Am I getting through to you? Right? Just come here and be here and let everything else go. And then you're free. All right? Thank you very much for your question. Okay. Okay, we're going to take one more question and we're going to wrap up here. I'm just going to kind of go down to the bottom of the list here. Okay. Okay, maybe I'll take two questions here. This one here is just from Medvedik. I can't pronounce that name. I'll just call you Med if that's okay. Hello, Brad. Is the flashlight also good for face or rejuvenation and collagen production? Guys, here's the thing. Do you want to know what this flashlight is good for? Everything that is on your body. Everything that represents life, which means I can shine this on the wall, and now that's getting source vibration, right? I can shine this on the screen's getting source vibration, right? I can shine this on my plants, and these plants are getting source vibration. Guys, you are source vibration. And by using this, you are rejuvenating it. What have I said that source vibration does? Can anybody answer? What does source vibration do? I want to actually hear what this does, right? Let's go to the chat right now, guys. Tell me what source vibration does. The source center vibration. What does it do? Can anybody tell me? I want to basically give you guys a pop quiz here. What does source center vibration do? Maybe I'll play Jeopardy music while I'm listening, while I'm waiting. Okay, what does it do? Well, it does more than everything, which is a nice comment, but, right, heal from inside. Okay, you're getting close, but no. What does the source center vibration do? Creates? Nope. Transmutes? Nope. Frequency healing? No. Not correct. You're close. You're not correct. It unifies everything. It is the center vibration that unifies all life. If here is chaos and I present the source vibration, look what happens. It comes together united. It unites the duality and chaos within yourself to bring it into harmony. Because the only reason you're scattered is because you're giving so much power to the shadow. And you're not giving power to yourself. You're not giving the power to the center where it belongs. And that's what the source vibration does. It brings everything back into center. It brings everything back into balance. It purifies everything into harmony. That's what it does. Do you see how that is the most powerful energy vibration there is? That's the source center vibration. There's nothing in all of creation that is stronger than that. And that's what you're using on your body. You are bringing chaos into order. You are bringing turmoil back into unity. That's what it does. It absorbs everything back into the original blueprint of life. It brings everything back into the union of omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence. That's what it does. It is this centering, unified force that brings everything back to center. Which means when you're using that on your heart is now healing itself because it's now returning back into its original blueprint. When you bring it back into your throat, right? Maybe you have a damaged larynx. As you continue to work with it, the larynx now starts to return itself back into union pertaining to its original blueprint. Everything that represents life benefits from the source center vibration. Okay? So when you get into the academy, you're going to learn this with great detail. Right? I can only share so much because, again, no one really talks about the source center vibration. Very few people do. Biogeometry does, radiesthesia does, a couple of different forms of dowsing circles do, a lot of the ancient practices and the ancient wisdom does in small portions. It's not something really discussed nowadays. I'm really the one of a few that are helping to bring this information back pertaining to the nature of what the source center vibration is, because here's ET technology right here. This is exactly the kind of technology that they would use on you on a ship. Probably have a lot more power to it, but here you go. Ah, my hand's hurting, my hand's hurting. Oh, wait, 2 minutes pass. Oh my God, this is actually feeling really, really good. All you're doing is just shining a light on me. Well, you see a light, but actually there's a lot more to it, my friend. Here you go. Back engineered ET technology right here. And that is the healing flashlight, and it works with the source center vibration, because when you go on board a lot of ships, that's what they all work with too. They work to unionize, they work to unify, they look to harmonize and bring chaos back into natural divine order. And that's what you're getting through this. That's what you're getting through the Taurus bed kits. That's what you're getting through the healing code cards. That's what you're getting through the safeguards. That's what you're getting through the crystals. That's what you're getting through every single product that is on Etherics. The flashlight is just the most powerful and the most potent because it works with light. It works with concentration. So keep that in mind. That is the source center vibration, my friends. Okay? So So Gabriella, just to follow up on her comment, you just assumed I'm in fear of WW3, but I am not. It's like COVID and jabs, just psyops for us to grow, and yes, live the fears, agreed that we have to go back to inside, to heart, to alignment. I'm glad to hear that you're not afraid of WW3, because there's a lot of people who are, right? And if you're talking about it, that's great. I'm glad you're talking about it, but there really is nothing to fear. It's like I said, everything that really comes together here is for you to grow with, is for you here to learn, is for you here to expand. But again, if we get too much into those topics and we're basically getting into where that's the main discussion of my day, has really anything been achieved? No, not really. It's the idea in that sense of just getting past story and letting the story be the story and being here, because that's really what's being said. And when I answer that question for you, Gabriella, it's not just for you. It's for a lot of people who are actually worried that there's a WW3 coming. It's for a lot of people who are actually worried that there's going to be financial hardship and that the stock market is going to crash and that they're going to be bankrupt and that they're going to lose everything. The response that I give is not just for you. You're being the template carrier for that question. But when I answer these questions, guys, is exactly why it is a webcast. It's for all of you to hear, not just for Gabriella who asked the question, who gets a part of that answer, but for everybody else who may be wondering where that's coming from. And this is just letting flow speak. All right? Thank you again for your follow-up, Gabriella. Okay. I do feel your love, Gabriella. I certainly do. I can feel it through your words. And thank you for that. Okay. So, guys, I think we're going to wrap up now. I'm just going to check to see if there's one last question that maybe we can get in before we go. For Med, to ask your question, source vibration is for everything. So if you want to use it for your face, you want to use it for your body, it's life. You want to use it for your plants, it's your life. You want to use it for environment, it's life, right? It's for everything. It rejuvenates, it balances, it centers everything. That's the nature of it. Okay? Okay. I'm just seeing if there's one last question before we go here, guys. I'm just taking a look at the list here real quick. Because sometimes I miss some really good questions because I'm just kind of scrolling down a little bit fast as we get closer to the time. No, I think we've covered all the really good questions today, so very good. All right, guys, so again, join me tomorrow for New Earth TV Live, where again I'll be bringing in an Adronis transmission, and he'll be sharing some insight with you guys, and we'll have Q&A with Adronis as well too, and with me, and of course distance healing will be available tomorrow, and group healing also. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Signposts. Hope you have all enjoyed it. I will see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time for New Earth TV Live. Take care, everybody. Blessings. Om Shanti 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 Namaskar, and may it be well with you. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can do private sessions with me, and also etherics.co. And through Etherics, you'll be able to pick up your Healing Code Cards body deck, your mind deck, and your energy deck through Etherics. You will also be able to pick up the Etherbed kit. That is also on Etherics as well. Not to mention that you'll also be able to pick up some apparel and accessories that is also available on etherics. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Namaskar, and may it be well with you.